think you know something about it. We should get together soon.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2022 action film Pursuit, a film that is co-written and directed by Brian Skiba, and it stars Emile Hirsch, Jake Manley, John Cusack and William Catt. Right, I'm going to try and give you a little bit on the story here, but it's not going to be easy because it's not a particularly easy film to follow, but I'll try my best. There is Emile Hirsch's character, Rick, who is a hacker. His wife and son have been kidnapped, and he's trying desperately to track down where they are. Okay, there's that. Then there's another character, Mike, played by Jake Manley, who is a police officer whose wife has been killed, and he is desperate to track down those responsible for the death of his wife. And in between all of that is a corrupt police force, some gangsters, and Emile Hirsch's father, played by John Cusack, who is part of this gangland and may well be involved or have information in regards to where his son is and who killed his wife. I think that's the best I can do there with this film, because as you could probably gather, guys, this film's a little bit of a chore. Massively overly convoluted plot that takes an awful long time to make any kind of sense. That when this film started, at least 30-40 minutes into the film, I still literally had no idea what was going on. All I figured out was Emile Hirsch was looking for his wife, and he was kicking down doors and shooting lots of people to find this out. There was very little evidence that he was a hacker in the film, even though he's supposed to be this great hacker. But I was really, really struggling to follow the film at the beginning. The Jake Manley character, Mike, the police officer, again, I just couldn't figure out where he fit into the story, who he was after. Was he after Emile Hirsch's character because he's chasing him? Or is he after somebody else that might be connected to the death of his wife? It was all over the place. And then Emile Hirsch's character gets captured by the police. He cuts a deal with the police. Then he escapes from the police. Goes on the rampage again. Gets tortured. Goes on the rampage again. It was just like, whoa, who are these people and what is going on? I just found it all a little bit silly and massively overly convoluted. And I don't understand why they do this with action films. Nobody really wants to watch an action film with a complex plotline. It just, you show me some of the best action films out there, past and present, and tell me if they've got a complex plot. They very rarely ever have. What they should have is interesting characters you can root for, and bloody good action scenes. And this film has not really any of that. There's some passable action scenes, I'll give them that, but they are acted out by actors that just didn't fit the role. This film was one of the most weirdly miscast films of all time. Now, I don't dislike Emile Hirsch. I liked him in the horror film he made, Autopsy of Jane Doe. He was great in that. Stuff like that I think he's fine in. Action films, no. I've seen him in 2 or 3 now, last couple of years, and to me he's not action material. I can't get behind him as an action star. He just does not fit the roles at all. Now, if he did like a big budget action film with like lots of great stunt teams and a good director and all that kind of stuff, maybe they could do it, because they could turn pretty much anybody into an action star these days. But the films he's making, I don't buy him as an action star. And his performance in this film is odd, to say the least. He talks really slowly, and it's like he doesn't care. But we're supposed to care about him finding out where his wife and son is. but I didn't care or like his character even. It was such an odd character and an odd performance. Same with the police officer, played by Jake Manley. He just did not suit that role. He was scrawny, you know, not to put too fine a point on it. I just didn't buy him in the action set pieces or the action fight scenes or anything. I didn't buy him as a police officer at all, really. John Cusack is fine in the film, but is he at the stage in his career now where he's just doing these kind of bit parts in low-budget action films? I hope not. He's better than that, I think. But the only time you ever really see John Cusack is like in one location at his house, making phone calls or cooking steak on a barbecue. Again, it was an odd performance, and I didn't buy him as Emile Hirsch's dad. He seemed too young to me. And I've done the maths. I think he's about 19 years older than Emile Hirsch. So technically, I suppose he could be his dad, but I still didn't buy it. So yeah, the film is full of characters, uninteresting characters who've got nothing interesting to say, and some fairly dull action scenes. It's not horrifically bad. I think the performances are decent. They just didn't suit the roles, if you like, if that makes sense. So I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 10. It just didn't do anything for me. As a cheap action film, low-budget action film, it's not going to cut it. I'm sure the poster's going to look good on a supermarket shelf, but I would probably suggest avoiding this one, guys. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.